I'm Lizzie. Each few weeks, I keep bringing a different origami fold to encourage you to make some time for yourself to do something lovely. And I'm really just sharing what I'm enjoying doing. This is all in support of my colleagues and also patients at the hospital where I work, UCLH. And I hope this can bring you a little bit of joy as it does for myself too. So I'm bringing along a traditional fold and it's just so delightful. I'm thinking of spring emerging flowers. This is a chrysanthemum, and chrysanthemums are very special flowers in Japan. They're seen as kind of royal flowers and a symbol of Japan. So this is traditional. It would have been handed on through the generations, and as with many traditional designs, it does involve a bit of glue, which I think is great fun. So make sure you get some kind of glue if you can. You'll need some paper clips too and a piece of paper. So each one of these is actually made of 4 pieces which are then glued together. So I rather love doing this in the evening, putting it on the radiator to dry out overnight, and then finding it in the morning and just enjoying opening the flower. I just happen to tie them together. This is just me playing around because I rather like the idea of being able to hang it, and they have a little hole, so it's quite easy to be able to tie something in there. It also looks a bit Indian in this case, but that's just me playing around. So grab yourself some paper. You could use, if you've got any special paper, why not use that? These smaller ones are made from origami size paper, and this bigger one is made from making a big square out of A4 or letter and dividing that, and that's how I'll be showing you because it's a bit easier to show. So grab a piece of paper and let's get started. Here goes. So take your piece of paper and just making it into a 4. That's it. So just to show you what I do. There we go. I'll only be showing you how to fold a quarter of it, and then it's the same idea. Do it 4 times and then you piece them together. So I'm going to remove this rectangle, turning it over and pulling it back, lining it up. I'm really enjoying these traditional designs. They're tried and tested and they've been handed on through the generations through joy and through meaning and through times together. That's it. So with this big square of paper, but you could use origami paper, which would make the slightly smaller one, fold it in half, cut it as I just have done, and then so dividing it into the 4. So I'm going to now just take a 4 so you're not just watching me do that. That's it. Right, so if you have origami paper, which you may well do, or some pretty colour paper, or something like wrapping paper would be good as well, then you may well have a coloured side and a plain side. So I'm just going to colour in a side so you can see which side should be which. But plain paper looks lovely too. This was obviously for me just a plain pink paper, but I thought that would look lovely. You can really see the design there. So we're going to take a little piece of paper and we're going to fold it along the diagonal so that the colour disappears. So one diagonal, good strong folds, really lining up. And then do the other one. Like so. So done both diagonals, then turn it over and we'll do the horizontal and then the vertical. So opening it up, and I'm going to do the other horizontal or vertical. Right, so there we go. We're next going to each corner bring into the middle. So it's a little bit like a fortune teller. Maybe it brings back nice memories there as well. There we go. And I just encourage you to enjoy every stage and point, all the lovely little patterns, and look at those angles and the way the light catches on it and the form. It's so beautiful. And when you're doing that, you're just enjoying the absolute moment and beauty of things, which is, you've all heard of mindfulness, but it's a way of really doing it in a very real way. And I think there's nothing like something real in your hands, with your eyes, the touch, that just brings you to this present moment, which can be so liberating. So we're going to take one of these flaps and we're going to fold it along the outside line, like so. So we're going to do that one way. It will be accurate. So I'm realising into a camera it's not accurate enough. So open it up and then do the other side. And this is what you're going to do for each of the 4 sides. There's a lovely repetition which becomes quite relaxing. Okay, make sure it's accurate. And again, that focus and attention is just really good for the mind. So I'm going to do this for each one. So folding it that way. And then the other way. So I'm just going to show you once with this one, but you'd need to make this 4 times because this has quarters to it. I've been organised and made ones earlier, true Blue Peter style. There we go, and I'm on to my last one. Look at all these gorgeous lines and patterns. I'm sure there's lots you could play with or colour or experiment with more. And then the other way. It's full of form and beauty. So the next stage I rather love, which is to get each of these sides, bringing in the sides so this sticks up, like so. Can you see? So doing this for each of them. So opening out if it's already folded over, and you're bringing in the sides so that this sticks up. Isn't that lovely? Doing that for each side. There we go. So hopefully it's looking like that for you. I hope so. So our next stage is almost think of it as a fortune teller. We're going to make it change shape along those 4 lines. So bringing them together as you would with a fortune teller. And you get this really interesting shape. I love this shape. Isn't that interesting? Like so, and squashing it down. So, gosh, it could be all many things. You could obviously put them together as well. So at the moment there's this sticking up. I quite want to get rid of that. So what we're going to do is take that bit sticking up and fold it forward like that. Give it a good strong squeeze. And then what we're going to do is slightly open it up and push it inwards. So it's, I guess it's called a sink, which makes sense. It's like kind of just gently open it up. And you can see the square, that square, central square in the middle. And I just want to encourage you to follow those lines. And hopefully you'll get it to sink down. As I said, these things, in a way, it's only in your own fingers and mind that you'll get the hang of it. But it's the idea. And I think if you can get the idea of things, it's more powerful than me saying, follow this exactly. It's actually for you to get your own experience. So can you see I've followed those lines? You can do that too. And then gently, and I'm still finding this a bit tricky, but I think that's what I'm enjoying about this whole fold, is then getting it to kind of collapse and go in on itself. Will it do it? Will it do it? Yes, it will do it. Can you see bringing in the sides so it all collapses down? So it's kind of disappeared, the bit that was sticking up. I hope you can do that. As I said, think of it as a puzzle. So it may not seem obvious at first, but you'll get that. It's that square that you've outlined shape and then pushing it in, and then it will fold up and collapse. It might take a bit of persistence, but you'll get there. Right, we're not far off. I know at the moment you can't see any colour, which is quite curious, but hopefully in just a moment you'll start to see it. So next we're going to take the bottom corner and lift it up. Like so, and you start to see some colour over here. That's it. So maybe turn to the back and the same thing. Here we go. Could be a butterfly as well, couldn't it? Turn the little pages. Maybe I'm going to do that front and back so it feels nice and balanced. And the same thing, picking up the bottom and bringing this into the middle like so, squashing it down, turn to the back. I'm going to do the same thing. Lovely. So that really is your piece. If you turn over, this is the colour that you will see of your flower. So I'm actually going to fold it all kind of in half almost, and what you've got there are those inside little petals. And you see, but think of it almost like a quarter of a circle. So I have made some earlier. I've been organised, but just to show you what to do, you can put a little bit of glue on that inside bit next to the next one, and then use a paper clip to be able to get them close together. And you're going to do that with each of the 4 pieces. So just to show you, I would put a little bit of glue there. Let's do it. And then you'll do this for all the 4 pieces. It comes together as a full circle. And then I would suggest leaving it, doing the evening, leaving it overnight, and it'll be a nice little treasure to open in the morning. And I'll just show you briefly how you can open it as well. So I've just glued that there. I don't think it matters which side you do a paper clip. But paper clips I found the best thing. When I've used pegs, they've actually ended up destroying the pegs, so I'm definitely finding paper clips are good. So just to show you, this is obviously only half of one, how you'd make the flower open a bit more, because it'll all be a bit tight, is for each of these you can pop your finger in and sort of squash it down a little bit, opening up each of these petals, and that's what you'll do for each of the petals. And you can see it starts to open up a bit more and looks a bit fuller than it did. So this is just half, and obviously I glue on another one. I've got all 4, but I don't think you need to see that. As I said, I think it's you getting your own idea of how it works is the important thing. Adding in another, you could even do it as a 3-way one, but I've added in 4. So I hope that makes sense. I hope you can make your own beautiful, beautiful chrysanthemum, and I hope that opening it maybe the next morning will just bring you a lot of joy. And maybe you could make a hanging, so I just tied some gold string through the middle and made it into a little decoration. Happy folding and a little bit of gluing.